Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to learn PHP. We are going to start our first program. This is going to be right time, right place to learn PHP. And here I'm going to tell you about how to write your first PHP script. And this is basically all for the beginners who wants to learn PHP, and everything I'm going to teach you step by step, each concept very precisely. And so just pay attention to what I'm doing and practice yourself also. Unless you practice by yourself, by your hand, type it, make sure you practice, type yourself and practice yourself. So let's get started. First thing is to make sure your XAMPP web server at localhost is working. So how do we know it's working? We have to go to XAMPP control panel, and over here you will find the control panel of XAMPP web server, which we installed in our previous video. If you haven't watched my previous video, you can go and watch and install the XAMPP web server on your PC or laptop, wherever you want, and you can run a web server on your laptop. So with starting your Apache server and MySQL server, you are getting ready to get started your first PHP script on your PC. So how do we know it's running now? So over here it shows the green color sign. This means that everything is going well, everything is running well. Still, we want to make sure if it is running good. So by typing the localhost, it will redirect the page to this. So by default, this means that your PHP web server at localhost is working. So congratulations, it's working correctly. And over here, PHP my admin, you need to take a look at this, how it looks like. Over here there are some databases. If you see this, MySQL, performance schema, PHP my admin, test. So these all are databases which we are going to create in our further future videos. I'm going to teach every SQL commands, every PHP script concepts, whether it's object-oriented programming or some major concepts. You don't need to get confused. So the first thing is, you don't need to get confused with all of these things. Just make sure your PHP is working. And how do we know that your PHP is working? Just type the localhost in the URL box and it will run for sure. So now we want to start our first PHP script. For that, we need to open our Visual Studio Code editor, or you can use any editor, like for example Atom, Notepad, Notepad++, or Visual Studio Code. Once I open the Visual Studio Code, you will see something like this. And make sure, if you want to open the folder where we want to locate our file, so over here we can open our folder. Over here we need to go to this PC, and you need to locate the folder where PHP XAMPP server file is located. So how do we find that? We will find something like where I located once I installed our web server. So I gave the name of my web server to PHP. So basically by default, it's the web server files. Over here there are lots of files given. So in one of these I will find htdocs. Remember this, htdocs is a folder where we are going to place our PHP script, where we are going to create our first file, PHP file, where we are going to create our web page, and everything will be inside the htdocs. So htdocs is really important for you to locate. And over here I have created already a folder with PHP name. So I will select this folder and select. Over here, if you see, there is no file inside the PHP folder, and it is located where I want it to be. So it is inside the htdocs. So over here, what I'm going to do is create new file, and by typing, like for example, if you see like this, by typing index.php, so make sure a extension you type is .php. so it means that we are going to create a file named index, and it is going to indicate that we have created our PHP file in our web server htdocs. So over here we are going to type our first script to display, to show output hello world. How are we going to do that? So let's understand the basic syntax first. So this is where we have to start always PHP with these tags. This is the open PHP tag and this is the closing PHP tag. Over here PHP is written to mention whether what type of language we are using. Even if you are doing something like this, it is also valid, but it is recommended to type PHP because it will indicate you to understand that which script you have written. So basically you will get to know like this is the PHP programming which we have used in our file. So this is one of the basic thing to remember, that always use this brackets for starting PHP. Inside these angle brackets we are going to type our statements. So how do we type our first statement that we are going to learn? So echo is the first thing to learn in PHP, and over here we are going to type hello world. And once you start your first statement with the double quotes, it means it is a string. String means a text of multiple words that contains. And over here I have written something like this, and I can even extend it to like I am a web developer. So something like this I can extend to whatever I want to write. So I want it to get displayed on the Chrome browser. And how do we see like the main output? That is our main concern. So once we type this, make sure that you have semicolon at the end of the statement. It means that it will execute, it will terminate the statement with the semicolon, and it means like you have finished your statement properly. And now while running the file we can exactly get the output. Now our main task is to save this file. By saving, how do we save? Ctrl+S is the shortcut key on the keypad. If you want to use the shortcut key, that's much more recommended. And Ctrl+S means you are going to save the file with the content in it. So this is our first program we have typed, and now let's see how we are going to see our first output. So basically where we are going to go is go to the folder where I mentioned this file, and it will be inside my web server htdocs and PHP folder. Over here you will find the index file. Open with other options, choose other options and choose Firefox. Let's suppose we are going to use the web browser as Firefox, so we are going to open this file in the web browser. Over here, once I choose the file to open, and over here it will show the blank screen. So over here you need to understand this URL is currently in a place where we are not running our web server. So over here basically it means that we are just locating the file, and the file contains nothing. Like for example, you are not running this file in web server. This path needs to get changed. So to change this path, make sure you remove the htdocs and only the folder and the file should remain. So over here what we can type is 127.0.0.1. so this is our localhost IP address. By default this is universal. Every localhost has an IP address with 127.0.0.1. so you need to remember this always while running a web server. So over here, if you see the output, once I run this file with the web server running, over here you will see the output, hello world, I am a web developer. Over here I have written 2 times web developers. I will just delete or remove one of them and save it again, and now reload the page. Now you see the change, so it's changed now. So basically you need to remember this IP address, or you can just simply type localhost and run the file. So over here it's very simple, very good to understand that how it works. This is our first program which we learned, and I want you to know about, like for example, you can search on Google like why do we not use print. Like we could use the print also. Why do we not use print, and why do we use only echo in PHP most of the time? So this is my main question to you. Like find out the answer yourself on Google and let me know in the comment box, like what is the reason why don't we use printf. So it also prints the same way, so why don't we use printf? And over here without small brackets, if we use like this, is it possible that it will print? Right, it will print. So basically even if we don't use the small brackets, it's going to print. We are going to leave it like that. So my main thing for you is know the difference between print and echo, and let me know in the comment section that what is exactly the use of echo, and why don't we use print most of the time in PHP. So this is our main question, and over here in the next video I'm going to tell you about this, like why don't we use print or echo, and we are going to go with the next flow. By finishing this video, I just want you to know that this is the comment section where we can type anything, comment section. So by slash and this sign and ending it with this, it means this is the multi-line comment. So we can use with multiple lines if we want to use only a single line comment. So how do we do that? This is the single line comment. So this is the single line comment. So this is how we are going to use. What does it mean? Like if we reload the page, over here we are only going to see our first PHP script which we have written, and we can't see the comments. So it is basically, the comments are used basically for understanding the code what we have written. So if I want to understand this 2 lines, so how I'm going to type our comments? So for example, print, what does print mean? I'm going to write the answer over here, and over here echo also in a similar way. Like for example, outputs just values, or outputs the values when run on browser. So this is basically means outputs the values which we have assigned, and we are just simply running the file on the browser. So that's how we are getting the output. So this is interesting point. If you want to learn more about this, you can watch my next video and we can learn a lot more about this. So stay in touch with me and subscribe my YouTube channel. That's what I want from you. And here I'm all done for you. Hello world, I am a web developer. This is our first PHP script with you, and together we are going to learn so much in the PHP world. So there is a unlimited opportunity as well as everything we need to learn step by step and improve our fundamentals, concepts, and this is all I want to say to you. Subscribe my YouTube channel and give a thumbs up. See you till then.